There we go. We are live. Hello, everyone, to Game Time Live. We are coming to you live from Instagram, X, and YouTube here today. So it's gonna be a fun episode. We've got a lot of content for you guys today. That first bit of sponsorship money came in, Darrell. I look a little brighter today. Got the
look
got
at
the
you, man.
Things
look like you got a new pair of shoes and
you
got a new pair of socks and everything, huh?
I'm feeling good. It's going to be a good episode here today. Big talking point for us will probably be IU and Oregon. I know that's probably what a lot of people are going to want to hear us talk about today. So we aren't going to let you down. We are going to talk about IU and Oregon. But before we get to that, Darrell, I want to get your thoughts on Monday Night Football, Jaguars and Chiefs. What were your thoughts on the game? And then I'll give my thoughts once I get our YouTube looking good for the live stream.
I loved it, man. I love the fact that we all doubted the Jaguars at the beginning of the season. I love the fact that they got behind and they didn't stop fighting. They had an inferior quarterback. They have one of the greats of all time on the sidelines as a coach. And it didn't matter. 26
in my power rankings.
And it didn't matter, right? They came out, they fought. That pick six was huge, but it still wasn't enough for them to win. They still struggled, right?
Yeah.
But at the end, they drove down at the end of the game and won the game fair and square, even though it was a kind of a quirky situation and a quirky play. The quarterback falls twice, and defensive lineman for the Chiefs, their best defensive lineman, sits there and watches the play unfold. Subsequently, has deactivated all of his social media because he was getting lambasted about not giving effort. So, credit to Sunshine, credit to their new young coach, credit to the team for being resilient and not quitting. So, very proud of them for sure. And if I remember right, we picked Jacksonville.
We both did.
And our third co-host picked Kansas City. That doesn't mean we know more. That just means we were right.
Yes,
and anytime me that Jacksonville's for real.
Anytime we can
that solidified it.
Anytime we can be right over Ramon, I think we're going to take that win for sure. But no, it was a good game. I enjoyed it. I was just getting the YouTube looking good for people that want to watch the live stream real quick. But I thought it was a good game.
Yeah.
There's Ramon. Well, Ramon, join the live. I'll send you the link unless you're busy at school. But no, Ramon.
He says Oregon by 17.
I would agree with you.
My first response is always want to bet.
I think Oregon wins. I
didn't say Oregon wasn't going to win. I said you want to bet. Give me them 17.
Do you think it'll be close?
I think it'll be less than 17. Hell, it could be 16. If he's going to bet me, I still win.
It doesn't happen often, y'all being right. Look,
give me them 17 points. I'll take it.
I feel like I've been right a good amount this year on the pod. I've had my things that I've been wrong about for sure.
You do realize every day a stop clock is right twice.
I know. Fair enough.
All right. So 10-piece wings and fries. You got it, my man. But my wings are vegan wings because I don't eat meat, so I'll have to have vegan wings. But we're okay.
I feel like that's a lie, Darrell.
Hey, watch your tone. Let's get back to Jacksonville. Hey, Ramon can't be with us right now. He can hear us.
He can't hear us. I'm going to send him the link just in case he can join. But
So I just think, Jacksonville played well. The only blemish they've got on their record is the game against Cincinnati. And granted, Joe Burrow played the first three quarters, if I remember right. And they were in Cincinnati, first game of the season. And I know it was a big word, they could easily be 5-0 right now. Because I would be willing to bet no one would take Cincinnati over Jacksonville in a head-to-head if they play next week.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good game. I was debating on if I wanted to move Jacksonville up a tier. I had them in tier 2, which was Super Bowl or playoff team tier. I mean. Would you put them in tier 1? Would you put them in tier 1 with Indianapolis and Buffalo?
Let it marinate. Just let it marinate because they came from a lot further down. I think we had them about 4 or 5 wins.
I had the Colts lower
6.
than Jacksonville at the start of the year.
You did?
So
I think I had them like an 8-9 or 9-8 or something like that. But what I would just say this: no, let them marinate for a week.
Yeah,
I
would say Jacksonville, and the reason I had them higher at the start of the year was only because of their quarterback issue. Like, at least if Trevor Lawrence can get the right coaching and everything around him, Jacksonville should be an okay team, like a decent team. For me, I didn't know, if you look off Daniel Jones's past history and you look at how AR's playing, I definitely thought, well, it's kind of like the Broncos a couple of years ago. They have everything else, but not the quarterback. That's why they were so bad. I thought we were going to see the same thing from the Colts this year based off Daniel Jones's previous tenures with Minnesota and New York, respectively. And Jacksonville has Trevor Lawrence. He's not a great quarterback in the NFL right now, but he's a good quarterback, a very good one.
So listen, let's be honest.
And they gave me more confidence.
It's probably 6 or 7 great quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
Great in the league. So, I mean, I don't know the exact number, and it's all relative, right? How you feel, but probably say 6 to 8 are probably great. And then there's, the next tier and all of that anyway. So, yeah, I would, Sunshine's playing well, but I got to give credit where credit's due. Mr. Hunter, man, that dude went up and got that ball. He's playing on both ends. He was hurt. He went back in the game, still making a difference. I'm a believer. I know he was at the hype train in Boulder, but he's the truth, man. He's the truth as a young player playing all those snaps in the NFL against grown men who want to knock his head off. Yeah, I'm a believer in Travis Hunter.
No, I am too. I didn't know how to feel heading into the season. I was just like, we'll see how it goes. But he's really impressing.
Yeah. They're giving him a lot, and he's absorbed a lot.
And Liam Cohen as well. Like, big props to Liam Cohen and what he has been able to do. Because we've talked about it with coaches on this pod about culture and how important it is to have that culture and install it. And I think Liam Cohen's done a great job in Jacksonville to show this team. He brought a little bit of Tampa Bay over to Jacksonville.
And it's in Florida, so he didn't have to go far to take much with him. But, they're a different type team than Tampa Bay, right? Yeah. They still got some challenges in the receiver room. ETN has kind of had a little bit of a resurgence this season. He was a guy that, people were saying, he's going to get cut. And now he's a viable player. He's not their third down guy. He wasn't in there in third down situation. But they're leaning on him a little bit. He's played better than probably most people thought as well, too.
Yes, I would agree. We're going to get into the preview here in just a second. Before we do, I want to give a big thank you to Matt Gaddis, the sponsor of the Game Time Podcast. If you need some insurance help, make sure you do go to Matt Gaddis. He's your guy. Number is down on the screen right there if you want to give him a call. I'm going to add his email to the banner as well. I just realized I should probably throw that in there. So we'll get his email in there as well, but his number is there on screen as well. Game Time Live will be live on Sunday. We'll be live again on Sunday from 12 to 1 o'clock. So we do have a time change, 12 to 1 o'clock. And after next week, we're going to have a lot of guests coming on the Game Time Podcast. A lot of coaches is the best way I'll put it. Not going to give any names out, but basketball season's ramping up. Working with IU East, I've had the chance to meet some great basketball coaches at the NAIA level. And then I teased it on my Instagram a little bit, but our first Division I coach may be sooner than everyone thinks. So continue to stay tuned in. We have a lot of guests coming on the Game Time Pod. Darrell, what can you say about the guests that we've got rumored?
You know how I'm smiling, man. I called you and told you about my excitement. So it pays to be good to people. People reached out, man, and offer support. We're going to have another Indiana high school legend that's going to come on the show with us. Now, we were sponsored by Indiana high school legend. Then we're going to have another one on. That's not it either. We're going to continue with some other things. I'm excited. I want to share it, but, you don't want to share it until that person is on board. So a lot of good things coming from the Game Time Podcast, and where our reach is spreading. And when I owe a lot to the listeners. We continue to get subscriptions each day. Our subscription number is going up. So we appreciate the support. If you do have input, you want to share questions you've got for us, by all means, don't hesitate. Put it into the chat. Our emails are there on the barcode for the YouTube channel. By all means, reach out to us and let us know what you want to hear us talk about.
Yeah, if you got anything that you want to discuss or you got a question, make sure to you can comment it in the live chat. I'm looking at Instagram because I found out this on Instagram. The comments don't come into our little chat on StreamYard. It's only X and YouTube. So Instagram I'm paying attention to as well to see if anybody comments. But yeah, if you got any questions, make sure to throw them in the chat and we will be happy to talk about that certain topic. But Darrell, I'll give you the floor first. Where do you want to preview, NFL or college football first? Where do you want to go?
Well, since tonight's a game tonight, it's an NFL game, a big game. It's a big game for the Philadelphia Eagles. And the reason why I say it's a big game for the Philadelphia Eagles, the last time I checked, they were still 4-1, but everybody's digging their grave and saying they're done. They lose a game at the end, last play of the game, at home to a good Denver team.
Yeah.
And the sky is falling. It just so happens now there are no undefeated teams. But yet the only sky that is falling is for the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, by the way, the reigning Super Bowl champs. The talk is about the receiver from Ole Miss, who I won't say his name. He, the great Jalen Hurts, and Saquon Barkley had supposedly a private meeting that it came out that it was a meeting. So it wasn't so private. As men, they had good conversation. I'm sure they did. And they talked about some things that were probably important to each and every one of them. It's not our business. The Eagles are 4-1. They're not dead. We're not going to make a big deal about 3 players meeting together, not having the whole team. These are human beings. Every player doesn't have to have a hand in every meeting because every player doesn't have the blame when they lose. People pointed to Jalen Hurts. They wanted to point the blame to that player from Ole Miss, and they wanted to blame the player from Penn State, Mr. Barkley. I didn't hear anybody saying the right guard didn't do his job. No one said that. I didn't hear anybody say the left outside linebacker didn't do his job. So those 3 want to have a conversation. They should have a conversation. It's nobody's business what they talked about, right? But they got a good fortune on a short week. They're playing a Giants team with a young quarterback who's finding his way, who's probably going to be pretty good, the way it looks right now, probably. But if you're going to come off of a week like last week with all the hubbub and all the negativity, and you had a short week, is there anybody else that you'd rather play other than the Giants, maybe the Saints or Carolina, one of those 3 teams, and you're playing one of them? So good luck to the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly tonight. I'm hoping they win by about 40 tonight.
Yeah, I think the Eagles will win. They should win. If they don't, maybe all this Metcalf drama, not Metcalf, sorry, AJ Brown drama will maybe that'll be the reason why, and it'll come full steam ahead, and then there's going to be some real questions to ask when we talk about their loss on Sunday if they were to lose. But we'll see how they go. I think Jackson Dart should have a pretty good game, but I need Jalen Hurts to I do need him to find AJ Brown because my fantasy team is taking a hit if he's not getting the ball in his hand. So,
speaking of fantasy, we talked about having a segment for fantasy. Don't forget that. For the viewers, we're going to have a fantasy segment because some of us are addicted to fantasy football. I'm not going to say I am, but there's a guy with glasses on right now. He has an addiction to fantasy football, so we'll have more to come on that.
I wouldn't say it's an addiction, but I'm trying to win this year. That is for sure. I've got 3 teams that could definitely win it for sure. So we're previewing NFL first. Just talked about Thursday. Not much to talk about. I feel like in my mind on Thursday night, Eagles should get the job done. If they don't, it'll be a good talking point for Sunday. And I'm sure Darrell will have a lot to say about those Philadelphia Eagles if they don't win on Sundays. A lot of interesting games on the Sunday slate. You got the 3-2 Broncos versus the 0-5 Jets. That looks like it's an overseas game. I find it interesting because Jets are going to have a shot to maybe get their first win this season. Rams take on the Ravens in B-Town. Lamar Jackson is questionable.
Not playing.
We'll see what happens.
He didn't practice yesterday. No reason to start Lamar Jackson. I don't think he plays.
Cowboys play the Panthers tomorrow in Carolina. Cowboys trying to be above 500 after this game. Cardinals take on the Colts in Indianapolis. Seahawks take on the Jaguars. That'll be a big game regarding my tier list for sure. Chargers take on the Dolphins. Chargers will look to bounce back after dropping 2 in a row. The Browns take on the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's coming off a bye. Browns are coming off a pretty good game against Minnesota. Patriots are taking on the Saints in New Orleans. Patriots hopefully aren't too gassed from the game on Sunday night. Should win that one. 1-4 Titans versus the 1-4 Raiders. Buccaneers versus the Niners.
Big chance
for the Niners here to get some recognition from me at least, because I've been, I moved them up into tier 2. Ramon convinced me a little bit, but they're at the bottom of my tier 2. And then you've got the Bengals and the Packers, which we'll see how Joe Flacco does in his Bengals debut. And then you've got the Lions and the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. I want to go to the Bengals real quick, Darrell, because I was preaching that they needed to trade for a quarterback. I was saying Jameis Winston. They trade for Joe Flacco. Your thoughts on that? And, will they be any better offensively on Sunday? Not saying they win, but better offensively. Did you freeze?
No, I'm a statue like Joe Flacco is. That was the dumbest move by Cincinnati Bengals, but it doesn't surprise me that the Bengals do something, another thing that's dumb. You get your offensive line is struggling, right? You got a quarterback who doesn't know your system, who's 41 years old and was never mobile anyway. You say you're going to bring him in. You're going to bring him in to start. He's checked down Charlie. I've got Brown for the Bengals in my fantasy, so I'm liking that. He's Mr. Check Down, and that's what's going to happen. You get a statue coming in, and on top of that, they didn't fly their plane to go get him. This dude flew commercial, and they showed the pictures on the internet that this dude is on a commercial flight from Cleveland to Cincinnati. Does not shock me at all what Cincinnati did. So they're foolish. I didn't think that they would have an issue with the backup coming in winning a few games based off the way he played against Jacksonville in the fourth quarter. However, now I guess that quarter and a half of tape has been passed to these teams, and this dude he can't get out of his way.
Yeah,
I said there's no reason to believe he couldn't go 7-8 because they were 2-0. You got 15 games out there. I can go 7-8, maybe 6-9. No.
Yeah, their season. I mean, they're 2-3, so they're not out of it.
That tells you all you need to know what they think about that backup quarterback. To have Joe Flacco, who just lost his job to Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
To come in and say, once he landed in Cincinnati, he's our quarterback.
Yep.
I don't see this ending well for Cincinnati. I'm okay to change my picks, and I'm changing my pick. Cincinnati is absolutely going to be the basement dweller of the AFC North without a doubt, 100%. And watch how that diva receiver that they've got from LSU is going to act over these next 3 weeks. Watch him. I hope the camera's on him like it's on Shedeur Sanders every time he sneezes.
Are you talking about Jamar Chase?
I want to see that.
Jamar?
Yeah. I want to see over the next 3 weeks. I want to see every bit of his body language, like they do with Shedeur, who's not even playing. Give these other guys the same treatment.
I mean, right now, the Bengals are second in the AFC North.
Yep.
The Ravens are 1-4. The Browns are 1-4. And, I mean, Browns happen to beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh, which I think is more of a possibility than we think. I think they do have a shot to beat Pittsburgh, especially with
Pittsburgh's coming off of a bye.
Yeah.
You got a young quarterback, right?
Cleveland played tough.
Tomlin loves young quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But I'll say, with that, Bengals got the Packers. The Packers are in your tier 1 for the NFC.
Yep.
That's going to be a loss. They're going to be 2-4.
Yeah.
And then here comes the meat of your schedule coming in. You got Pittsburgh coming up. You got Baltimore coming up again as well.
No, it's going to be rough. I think Flacco will, like I said, I think he'll put more points on the board. That doesn't mean I think they win games, but I don't think I think they'll get points on the board this time around instead of not get. You got to score more than 10 points.
Here's a little hint for you fantasy footballers: grab the Packers defense if you want, especially if you get 2 points for every sack.
Okay, that's a valid argument. And I was looking at the stats. Bengals have the worst offense in the NFL, and they've got the third worst defense in the NFL. So if that just
bet you they've got probably the second or third highest paid offensive team.
Yeah. It's crazy how much their season changes off one guy. I mean, if Jamar was out, probably wouldn't make that much of a difference. But with Burrow being out, it completely changes everything. If it was Chase out and Burrow in, they'd probably be maybe they're still 2-3, but it's a way tougher 2-3 than it looks right now. This 2-3 is like well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, and that happens, just getting some messages with people. But yeah, I mean, 2-3 doesn't look horrible until you're 2-4 with Joe Flacco as your quarterback.
Yeah.
See, it's not just that number, it's just not your record. What's around that record? And what's around that record is a lot of futility.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think we spent enough time on the Bengals.
What other games do you like this on Sunday?
I don't want to say the best for last, but I'm going to say it first. Lions and the Chiefs. I've been talking trash about the Lions all year, talking about them losing those two coaches meant nothing. I said it in week 0. I said it in week 2. I said it in week 4. And I'm going to say it in week 5. As long as Dan Campbell is leading the charge, that's the same Detroit Lions team. They're going to go into Kansas City, and it's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be a slugfest. We talked about best coach when you talk about even talent. Man, I ain't picking over Andy Reid. And I ain't picking over Mr. Campbell. The only catch could be there's a 4th and 4 in the third quarter, and Detroit's down by 8. They decide to go for it, and they don't get it, and Kansas City goes down and scores a touchdown. I can see that happening with Parlay Dan, because he's going to go for it. That dude, if he's got 19 in the blackjack game, he's going to get a hit. He's asking for a hit. So that's the only thing I could see for me that in a close game that would put the Chiefs over the Lions. If there's a decision made that you look back and say, man, it's okay to punt the ball.
I think the Lions will win. I'm pretty confident that they win. We'll see what happens. The other game I'm very interested in is Niners and Buccaneers, but we'll see, right? Because Mac Jones is questionable with a knee/oblique injury. Ricky Pearsall, knee injury. Brock Purdy is questionable with the toe. Jaquan Jennings, ankle and ribs. So they've got a lot of injuries. Obviously,
Mac Jones will be quarterbacking. Mac Jones will be out there. He'll play well. They're going to put some heat on him because Mac Jones has never been very mobile anyway. They're going to try to put some heat on him. So look for them to try to I guess you could say, highlight CMC again. He'll probably looking at another 30 touches. And I'm telling you, come week 10 and week 11, like I've said, if it continues with the need of needing CMC like they're needing him, you better get your gains in for the first 10 weeks of the season.
Yeah,
but I think they'll play. They'll play decent. But I do think the Buccaneers will beat the 49ers. They're coming off of a week where they got banged up a little bit more. CMC looks healthy. He looks strong, but the Buccaneers are going to go after the 49ers. They're going to be real aggressive.
I think Tampa wins pretty confidently, and then I can drop them. I can drop the Niners back to tier 3 after they lose. So
you should have never brought them to tier 2.
Yeah, I mean, he made a valid argument.
Listen, we talked about their schedule, right? We talked about their schedule.
I kind of contradicted myself on Monday when we were talking about this because I'm like, I've got the Steelers up there, and I really don't buy the Steelers, but I got them up in tier 2. So that's also why I kind of moved the Niners up.
But also the Steelers aren't entertaining that many injuries to that many key players. Okay, There's again, everything isn't created equal. If you got two teams that are 4-1, that doesn't mean. So if you're telling me, if we're talking that way, the teams that are 4-1, there's nobody leading, right? Because you got Buffalo 4-1, Colts 4-1, Jaguars 4-1. You got Philly 4-1, Lions 4-1, and Bucks 4-1. So you tell me all those teams are exactly even?
No. It's just for the Steelers.
Brandon
caught that comment.
I got your back, Brandon.
For the Steelers.
But I don't know yet. The numbers though. You got six teams that are 4-1. They're not all the same. So just because teams are the numbers match, that mean they're the same. And I hate to give credit, for Brandon's squad. Steelers don't have injuries. They got a motivated Aaron Rodgers. Granted, he's still pedestrian. Then you got DK Metcalf, who broke out, 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And this giving Warren time to heal. Warren was out in that game overseas. He was out that game. They had a bye week, so it's been 3 weeks for Warren. Warren should come back really ready to roll.
Yeah.
So I'm liking how things are breaking for the Steelers. The Ravens are looking terrible. The Bengals are hurt, and the Browns are always the Browns. And I'm going to go in on the Browns. Don't worry, I got something for them too. So yeah, so I'm definitely liking the Steelers in the AFC North. Not because Brandon Reef is my boy.
A part of me, and this is another good point. Ramsey's played well, obviously, as he mentioned with the health, but in those first couple weeks, he made some big plays. The game against the Jets, big play in the other game, I forgot. But yeah,
he doesn't have the speed he used to have. He doesn't have the quickness he used to have. He's got that savvy now, and you're seeing some of it, man, which is a good thing. Yeah,
I remember 2016. I wanted the Cowboys to take Ramsey, but we took Elliott. But I mean, it was a good pick either way. Ramsey obviously had the longevity aspect, but I wanted Ramsey bad. But Ramsey's been a solid player his whole career, and he's doing good things.
Without a doubt, he's been a good player. Yep.
But yeah, I think a part of me was like, man, I have them in tier 2, but I think maybe they're tier 3 because I still think in my mind they're in tier 2 right now, which is playoffs. But I do think at best it's a wild card win unless Aaron Rodgers just is prime Aaron Rodgers. And I
don't know how you get a wild card for winning.
Wild card loss, I should say. Wild card loss. But if they win the division, I mean, I'll shut up. But
here's what I would say this, and we can move on to the next one. You're going to take the Bengals, the Ravens, or the Browns over the Steelers. I can't
win the division.
Yeah, I can't.
I mean, right now, I have no argument.
I don't see a path with them. Granted, if Aaron Rodgers goes out and gets hurt and something else, things can change. But if all things stay equal, Steelers have given up 98 points in 4 games. Let's give about 24. League average is about 22.5. They're right there on par. Think about the Jets. Jets have given up 157. Yeah, they had an extra game. I get that. But still, their average is way high. They're averaging give up 35 points a game, but not 30 points. And Baltimore is averaging 35. They give up 177. So I like what the Steelers are in a good place. I'm not great crowning them to be Super Bowls, but the Steelers are in a good place.
Yeah. This Falcons defense is, I mean, I'm clicking on in every single statistic. This defense is in the top 5. This Falcons defense is for real.
Through 4 games, they've only played 4 games.
I was just looking,
but they're only scoring. They've only scored 76 points, man. They got to score.
They do got to score. Yeah,
Penix got to help them out. It's just like with the Texans. Look at the Texans situation. Very similar. The Texans have scored 108 points in 5 games.
Yeah,
they've given up 61. How in the heck are you 2-3 and you've outscored your opponents 108-61?
Yeah. No, that Falcons defense is same thing with the Browns though, which is why on Monday I moved the Browns up into tier 3 and I put them in wild card because I was like, their defense is up there. Their defense is very good, and for Dylan Gabriel, when we talked about it on Monday, he's steadying the ship. After the Flacco era,
last week was a glimpse of the future from a quarterback perspective.
But I still think Shedeur will play at some point this season.
I'll say it again: the only way he plays is if Dylan Gabriel is hurt, and I mean hurt and then not able to play. Don't look now. Don't be surprised if Bailey Zappi is brought up to the active roster. You heard it here first. I did a deep dive in Cleveland on Cleveland. So I want to trash him. So don't be surprised if Bailey Zappi is brought up to the team.
And if they do that, it's just a waste of time. Honestly, it's just a waste of time.
Let me just go ahead and go on Cleveland, okay?
Just play your two rookies.
We want to knock Shedeur Sanders, right? I forget the dude. Somebody sent me a clip. The dude on ESPN. He's always histrionics. Always not Stephen A. Jackson, but the dark skinned guy. I guess Shedeur was working out somewhere on an off week, not at the Cleveland Brown facilities. He goes in on Shedeur about not at the Brown facility. The man is working out. He's honing his craft. He's throwing the ball because he's a quarterback. Everybody wants to make a big deal. Well, he shouldn't speak to the media. He shouldn't do this. The Browns and their organization have a responsibility not only to help their players, develop their players, but to protect their players. The owner came out weeks ago and said, if it was up to me, I wouldn't have drafted him anyway. They have treated him like a bald-headed stepchild. Yep. Okay, I don't think Shedeur Sanders was better than a third or fourth round pick anyway. However, but if you're going to treat one of your own so disingenuously when saying, "Hey, I wouldn't have picked him," then you got your coach saying, "I don't know if he's number 2 or not." Well, you only got 2 on your active roster. This is the same organization that got rid of your boy Baker Mayfield after a playoff season to go and get the massage therapist. Only reason why he signed with them was because they're the only team foolish enough to sign him to a guaranteed 100% contract. That failed miserably. Same team that told the best defensive player in the league, "Oh, you're good where you are," until he says, "No, I want to be traded." Then they went back and said, "Oh, you know what? We're going to add some more money to you there. Don't worry about it. We're going to pay you extra." Why? Because they're a horrible franchise in a horrible city, and they're not called the mistake by the lake for no reason. Cleveland Browns have been a level of futility that many haven't had, even your Dallas Cowboys. Okay, over the last 10 years, the Cleveland Browns have the second or third worst winning percentage in the AFC. They have started 15 quarterbacks in the last 9 years. That's more than one a season. So for you all to act as though it's the young Mr. Sanders' fault, he absolutely created some of his own issues in Colorado, doing the watch thing and all that. You know, legendary, all that. Yeah, he created some of that. But that's in the past. Only thing legendary right now is his butt on the pine. And if Cleveland is so disinterested in young Mr. Sanders and they don't want him to play, just release him. You can't trade him. His value is pretty much nothing. Get rid of him, because all it is a blank show in Cleveland. Every week, what they're doing, the reason why the reporters are going there, because there's nothing else to talk about other than Myles Garrett. And you can't talk to Myles Garrett about everything because you're 4 losses. So you got to find a story. Your story is Shedeur Sanders. That's why he's the highest grossing jersey sales on the team. He's making money, right? The guy is doing his thing from a marketing perspective. He did it. But from a playing perspective, Dylan Gabriel is the quarterback. Be what it is. So Cleveland is living in futility. They're a horrible organization, and they get everything that they deserve. That's my part about them. Needless to say, after next year, when Gabriel struggles, they're going to be looking to draft another quarterback anyway.
Yeah,
so that's my take on Cleveland. They can pound sand as far as I'm concerned.
We've talked
that young man and let him go.
We've talked high about Gabriel, but obviously it's very early. He's a rookie, but he's not going to elevate this team 5 years from now. He's not going to be the starter. He's probably not going to be the franchise guy. So I just don't see I don't know. I don't see the hoopla. And honestly, for either, obviously Shedeur, I agree. He's created his own issues, but there's also been the way Cleveland has handled it as well, with Stefanski saying, well, I don't know if he's quarterback too. Yeah, I agree. Like, you only got 2 quarterbacks. And it goes back to my point where it's like, you're telling me if Dylan Gabriel throws 4 picks on Sunday and then he does the same thing next Sunday, they're going to play Bailey Zappi? Come on, man. Like, that's
why would they? I mean, that's who they are. Why would you think otherwise? What would make you think they would do something different? What would make you think? I mean, their history is who they are.
If Shedeur does not play, at this point, with Flacco gone, if Shedeur does not play, it is not on Shedeur. It's on the organization. And
clearly. And let me let one last tick, because I'm mad at Cleveland. And I failed to share this. They also cut my boy David Bell from Warren Central. Didn't give him a real chance to play wide receiver. So Cleveland stinks, okay? They are on my blank list. And I hope they lose every game the rest of the season. Simple as that. Because the way they've handled Shedeur, the way they handled the situation with Flacco, the Gabriel thing, I hope they lose every game the rest of the season. So now I'm done with Cleveland. I'm sorry.
No, I mean,
I had to give my Dub P shout out.
It needed to be said. So I don't disagree with you. Other game I'm interested in, Jaguars Seahawks. Your thoughts on that game?
Will the Jaguars have a hangover? That's the question.
That's a good question.
That's the question. And you know, I think they might. That was a great win, man. You beat the best quarterback in the league, a game-winning drive off of a pick six, and your quarterback ran in for the winning score. If that ain't hangover ready, I don't know what is. So
it's a good chance for Seattle.
Yeah, I like Seattle, especially coming off the loss they had against Tampa. They are PO'd. They are real PO, and Jacksonville's on the high.
Yeah.
This will say a lot about their coach on how well he gets them prepared for this next week.
I think it could spell bad news for Seattle. I think if they lose this game, I think it'll say a lot about them if they drop both of these games right here, because with how good Jacksonville's playing, obviously Tampa Bay, we kind of knew they were already contenders. But if they lose both of these games, it'll probably tell me what I need to know about Seattle. Okay, they're going to beat the teams that they're supposed to beat, but they're not going to beat the teams that are better than them, or on paper, talent-wise, are better than them. So we'll see what happens.
We'll find out.
They've got the talent. I think Darnold's played good, so I'm not going to say, oh, it's because of Sam Darnold. No, I think Darnold's played really well. So it's just going to be a matter of
he's done his part. They got to do better. They got to do better on offense. The running games have been pretty decent. The line has been okay, but you would just expect them to be much better on that side. We got $100 million quarterback, got 2 really good running backs. You got JSN. I think
you got a wide receiver one.
Yeah. So they should be better. Just fortune didn't happen their way, especially with the Tampa Bay situation. I mean, we could say what we want, but they could easily, they could be flipped real quick, and Seattle could be, 4-1, and then we're having a whole different conversation.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that whole thing with me and Ramon wouldn't have even happened on Monday.
Well, I think it still would have.
Maybe so, but I would have been like, they beat the Buccaneers. Who have the Niners beaten all year that even comes close to Tampa Bay? Yeah. So, Colts. We'll bring up the Colts. Obviously, we're in Indiana. It'd be messed up if we didn't. They play the Cardinals this week. We haven't talked about the Colts a lot. I mean, we've talked about them, but I think it's just a matter of they got to keep doing what they've been doing, right? You put up 40 on the Raiders. You're playing a Cardinals team that I was pretty high on at the start of the year. They may be out. They may not have Kyler Murray. He is listed as questionable heading into this game this week. So, and James Conner's out as well. They've actually got 2 running backs out.
Conner's out for a year, and then you
Trey
had
Benson.
Trey Benson's out, and then you got the young man who went for 70 yards and forgot to take the ball over the goal line.
Michael Carter.
I think the Colts are in a good spot right now. Cardinals are reeling. When I say that, you see how they lost, right?
Yeah,
that's tough, man. That's tough to come back on,
because they would be 3-2 right now.
A lot of fingers being pointed at that running back, right?
Yeah.
Well, which is fair, but you still got to bounce back, and you got a good coach team, and you're playing them in the Colts building.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a question about another game on the Sunday slate. It's Titans and Raiders. Are either of these coaches on the hot? I guess Pete Carroll wouldn't be. It's his first year. But is the Titans coach on the hot seat at all?
Not even close. He's got a rookie quarterback. He's got a depleted offensive team. His best receiver is Calvin Ridley. Something's not right there with Calvin Ridley and the quarterback. Their defense is suspect, right?
Yeah.
He's got at least a 3-year window to get that thing right, unless something happens in the locker room where he gets into it and it gets public or something like that. He's got 3 years, and then you got Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll ain't going nowhere right now.
Yeah.
Both teams are devoid of talent.
What coaches on the hottest seat?
I would say Mr. McDaniel down in Miami.
Yep.
I think
you were going to say Baltimore, but I was gonna counter with Miami if you would have said Baltimore.
The reason why Baltimore coach isn't tenure, right? Tenure.
Yeah.
He's earned the ability to earn some benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think he's a good coach. True enough, but he's going to have an opportunity to finish what he started. Right. But I think Mr. McDaniels in Miami is absolutely he's on a heated seat.
Yeah.
And don't be surprised if the Dolphins lay an egg this week in that type of game. There's another coach on the sideline, because I think next week the Dolphins have a bye week, if I remember right. I think
I would. I was also gonna say this. I think the Jets would be stupid to let Aaron Glenn go. Not after this year, but after next year. I think Aaron Glenn can really turn that whole franchise around in the next couple of years if they give him time. If they give him Dan Campbell time, I think Aaron Glenn can seriously turn them around. The energy he has on that sideline, those first couple weeks they had some really close games. Obviously that Dallas game they got shredded by a quarterback who's playing at an MVP level, but I really like Aaron Glenn and what he's done in New York, even though they're 0-5, right? And I said it before they lost to Dallas. I said that 0-4 is a really tough 0-4. That's an 0-4 where they barely lost. Their record could be 2-3 at this time if things would have went a bit differently, or 3-2. But I really like what Aaron Glenn has done in New York 5 games in. And this Jets organization, they're one of those organizations that I'd put down there with the Browns and probably Jacksonville as well, where they fire coaches and they don't even give them a chance to breathe. Well, I think they got to give Aaron Glenn some serious time.
Well, I'm going to double back real quick. I thought the Dolphins had a bye week after. They don't have a bye week. It's almost like a bye week after this week's game because they got the Browns on the 19th. So that's almost like a bye week.
They may lose that, though.
But from a defensive perspective, I'm thinking, right? I still think McDaniel's gone. They got the Chargers this week. They don't have the Raiders. They got the Chargers.
They ain't beating the Chargers.
Yeah. So, but going back to the Jets, right? Yeah, you're right. They look good in 5 losses. In some losses they look good. Not all 5.
I don't count week 5. Week 5 was rough for them.
But I don't believe Justin Fields is your guy, right? He's great from a fantasy league perspective because he runs. I don't think he's going to be their guy. The defense has tried to toe the line, but that offense is missing some things. Don't be surprised if Breece Hall is traded. There's teams that need a running back.
Really?
The Jets are going nowhere fast. He's in a contract year. I follow a lot about Breece Hall because I had him the last 3 years in fantasy. This is his contract year. He wants a bigger deal. Why would you pay your running back a bigger deal when you're 0-5 and you're probably going to lose 10 games this year? Easily 10 games. That means they would go 7 over the next 12 games. They would have to go 7-5. They ain't going 7-5.
Yeah.
So Breece Hall is going into his contract year. So don't be surprised if there's talks about him being traded.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Does a redshirt sophomore, are they eligible for the draft?
That means he's 3 years in. Yeah. The rule is you have to be 3 years after your graduating class of high school to enter the draft.
I pulled up a mock draft just because the Jets have the number 1 pick. A week ago and 2 weeks ago, I saw Mendoza as their pick, which I don't agree with. I don't agree Mendoza's the number 1 overall pick. He's played really well, but I don't think he's the number 1 overall pick.
Let's see what happens this weekend before we do all that.
That has changed. Dante Moore is now the projected number 1 overall pick.
By default? I mean, there was no.
I don't know by
Dante.
default because
and I'm saying because show me a publication that had him in the top 5.
I agree. Yeah, he wasn't nowhere. He wasn't nowhere in this combo.
Again, you know what? You know what I feel about mock drafts in October.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Darrell. I'm a mock draft junkie, so I look at these every week. I'm gonna give you every week.
You got dogs at home. Get that newspaper, that paper that for those mock drafts. Let your dogs take care of that because that's all it's good for.
I love mock drafts.
It means nothing. I sent you a link on a mock draft the other day.
Well, I think it's interesting.
Remember, we talked about this. You see how idiotic that looks?
I think it's interesting though because a lot of these guys may not even enter the draft. So it is interesting to see like who's eligible and who can go.
But the thing is, it should be who's eligible, who has to go, and who may go. Those are 3 different mechanisms there, right? And when you talk about these guys going, there's no guarantee. My boy Caleb Downs is leaving. He's leaving.
Yeah.
But no one talked about Mendoza until on this show after they thumped Illinois. Mendoza's name didn't come up at all. Now all of a sudden he's being talked about. Pump your brakes on this stuff. If I'm the pathetic Jets, I'm gonna wait and see what happens. Right? I'm gonna look at maybe possible trade. Maybe looking at a veteran, not your boy Kirk Cousins either. I'm not looking for a broken down double-digit year veteran guy. Right.
So now they've got Mendoza going to the Rams at 15.
Listen, print that up and let your dogs handle it.
And then they got Lenore Sellers going to the Raiders, which I agree with. I think you put I think Sellers is a top 10 quarterback off the talent alone.
He's big, he's strong,
he's got the arm, he's accurate. He has the accuracy that AR wishes he had coming out of college.
Well, again, he hasn't had a lot of playing time either. Okay.
No, I agree. But I think his IQ, he has way more experience than AR. I mean, you compare their experience.
I mean, the numbers. I mean, he may has a few more starts than AR, but we gotta be careful talking about IQ. We didn't see enough of AR at Florida to say IQ or not.
Well, that's my point. Yeah, that's my point though.
But again, Lenore Sellers has been hurt.
No, I know. Yeah.
Just so let's wait and see what happens. But I wouldn't want to be in the market for a quarterback this upcoming season because someone's going to get picked in the first round that probably doesn't deserve to get picked in the first round.
There's a lot of names being thrown around, and I think it's interesting. And like I said, I'm a junkie for mock drafts. I love watching Todd McShay because he'll break all this down and give a good evaluation, everything else. So it's like,
and then come April, they're mad at the teams that are picking because they didn't go with who they talked about. Take a look at your boy from last year with Shedeur. He went volcanic. He went volcanic. Yeah, Mel Kiper. Because
I said McShay. I've been watching McShay.
Well, they're one and the same. McShay, they're very similar. My point being is they've got a narrative to share too. So if in fact the team picks that player when they say, "Look, I was right," woo. But then if they don't, oh man, how dare they do this?
I don't get mad. I mean,
I'm not saying you're not Todd McShay. You're not Mel Kiper. I'm talking about those guys. They are paid to be prognosticators, to get paid off of that. So if your prognostication is always wrong, your job is going to be behind in a while.
There's a lot of names being thrown in the ring of who's going to be a first rounder, right? You got Mendoza.
Let's talk about it in March.
You got Mendoza, you got Dante Moore, you got Aller, who is Aller actually hasn't been brought up. Aller's been viewed more as a second rounder.
Only one person brought up Drew Aller that I know of.
It was me, but he's been viewed more as a second rounder. Nussmeier is still in the conversation as a first rounder. Has McShay and a bunch of other people. Not high first round.
I sent you a mock draft and he wasn't there. So who's right?
Things are going to continue to go up and down as the season goes. But that's what I love about it. So I will continue to keep tabs on it because
you keep on tabbing in with McShay and those guys. You better.
Oh, when we get to basketball season, I'll be watching Bill Simmons and everything. So I'm ready to go. I'm excited. I can't wait to talk NBA on Sunday. We'll have a guest on Sunday as well for that. So that'll be fun for sure. Anything else NFL wise you want to cover? Maybe Rams and Ravens, or do you? I know you probably want to hear my thoughts on Cowboys and Panthers at some point.
I want to talk Cowboys and Panthers, man. Let's do it.
There we go. It should be a win. I said they would lose this game in our predictions, but I did call the Chicago loss. I forgot to bring that up, I think. I did say they'd lose to Chicago in Chicago.
Listen, sometimes it's better to get it right than be right, okay?
I'm glad I was right. I don't know how to feel about this team, right? This team, I've talked about it on
because
here.
You want a number one pick. You can't stomach Dakota doing what he's doing.
No, I like what
reverting back.
I like what Dak's doing. All right, he's won me over.
But then, give me your caveat.
I owed him an apology. There's no caveat. There's no caveat other than he can't win in the playoffs.
There you go. That's what a caveat is. That's
this season's not his fault. As I said heading into the season, I said I wouldn't be blaming him on this season because we all knew how pathetic, atrocious, disgusting, belligerent. I don't even know if that coincides with the other words I just said, but either way, you get the point. This defense sucks. It sucks.
How about this? I'm going to call it now. Patriots will shut out the Saints in the game this weekend. They're going to shut them out.
I don't think so. They're in New Orleans.
They're going to shut out the Saints.
Spencer Rattler played well.
Saints are the second worst between the Carolina Panthers, the Saints, and the Cleveland No Browns. Those are probably the three of the worst teams, and along with the Jets. Don't forget about the Jets because they're 0-5. The worst teams in the league right now.
Offensively, or just in general?
Period, as a whole. I'm just looking at their record.
Saints are at the bottom. They're at the bottom.
You would think all that voodoo in New Orleans, they would have more wins and more better players. So hey, somebody's voodoo is not working down in New Orleans. They got to get that together.
Cowboys have the most yards in the league by a good amount. I mean, the Rams are right behind them. They're behind them by about 30 yards. But points, clearly the Colts are second. The Lions are actually first with 174 in points. Dallas is fourth, but they lead the league in yards. So Dallas's offense has been elite, and I agree it's due to Dak Prescott. He's played great. George Pickens has played very well in Dallas, other than the week he threw his helmet. But I think that was just a frustration. That was just pure frustration.
He's got about 2 or 3 more meltdowns this year coming. Okay, yeah. It's not a talent thing for Pickens. It's between the ears. I said, and I'm gonna take one of your lines. I was right about Pickens when I said he was just as good as CeeDee Lamb. I said that. Just as good as CeeDee Lamb. 100%. Talent for talent. But his problem is between the ears. He's got 2 more meltdowns coming. It didn't matter if, it's just a matter of when.
If you ask me right now, would I want to pay George Pickens? I'd say yes. Because the thing is, with this Cowboys roster, and you saw it last year, you cannot head into the season with CeeDee Lamb and friends. It needs to be CeeDee and somebody worth talent, right? We had Brandon Cooks not last year, but the year before.
They're in a good way, man. Dallas is in a good way from an offensive perspective. Let's just call it like it is.
Yeah.
They got when CeeDee Lamb comes back, I think next week, not this week, but next week he's slated to come back. You got a good running game. A young man who got thrown away from Denver. They just threw him out to the scrap heap. You got a top 10 quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. You got a coach who really is starting to feel his way around things.
I've been very positive about Schottenheimer.
In the draft, Dallas needs to make 6 picks on defense.
Man, they better not take anybody on the offensive side of the ball. You got 4 first-round picks. You've drafted offensive linemen in the first round.
They got 2 this year and 2 next year. It's not 4 in 1 year. It's 2 this year.
I keep hearing it's 4.
Yeah, that's a total of 4 because they got the 2. They got 2 for this year with the Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons comes over.
Man,
I think that's what it is. But regardless of that, they got a good young offensive line. And remember this: 3 of those young players were out last week.
Yeah.
So they're creating depth on the offensive line. Listen, what the Dallas Cowboys need to do, they need to head on to the Southeastern Conference and post up at those games.
Draft.
Don't look anywhere else. Don't look anywhere else.
Yep.
You're good.
You basically drafted your whole O-line from Alabama. So why don't you now? It's time to get Caleb down.
I'm just saying the SEC period because remember, there's 16 teams there, And the last I looked, 10 of those teams in the top 25. Okay.
Yeah.
So something to say about that, right?
Now, I'm not
Go
gonna
where the
blame-
talent is.
I'm not going to blame you if you draft one of those LSU receivers. That's your one pass for me. But everything else better be defense. But if you draft one of those LSU receivers, you're not
the
going to
best
hear much from me.
and I hate to say that, I hate to give Ramon any more love. Best linebackers in Ohio State too.
Yeah.
They've got a factory there right now.
But if you want them D linemen,
they got Caleb Downs, number 9. Forget his name. Number 9 for Ohio State is a beast, right? But after that, head on down to the Southeastern Conference. There's something down there for you. Yeah. That's what your boys need to do. And listen, Jerry's is a Big 8 guy anyway. He went to Arkansas, so he's got that history of that market down there. So get on down there, Jerry, and keep your boys in the SEC. And next year, then you can say the boys are back.
Yeah, I would agree. They got to get that defense right. Hopefully, they can do something in free agency because they haven't the last 3 years. So please do something. You got all that money in cap space now. You better go sign some defensive help and maybe not a receiver, but pay George Pickens. I am of the belief you pay Pickens now, maybe like a 2-3 year deal, nothing crazy, and then get some defensive help. Draft the D line, sign the secondary. Draft the D line. Draft the secondary. Sign the secondary, draft the D-line. There we go. I got it flipped.
Yeah.
Sign the secondary, draft the D-line.
We'll see. We're gonna pivot over to football, right? College football, right?
Yeah, we're gonna move over to college football, and we're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna talk about the game that Indiana fans are gonna want us to talk about. IU versus Oregon, and IU fans, I'm gonna look directly in the camera when I say this. You're gonna lose. You're going to lose. It's in Oregon. You're going to lose. You're not going to win. I really don't think IU's got a shot. I got to be completely honest with you. I thought about it. I'm like, maybe I come on here and I say they've got a shot. They probably do got a shot, right? But in the grand scheme of things for me, I think
everybody's got a shot, but I just don't see Indiana winning that game. I think that Oregon is deep.
Yeah. I watched this team play Ohio State last year, and that was different. I know Curtis Rourke was basically playing on a torn ACL down to the end of the year. Mendoza's healthy. This team is healthy. They've got a shot, but I really just don't think they're going to win this game on Saturday. If it was in IU, if it was in Bloomington, I would say don't get off the couch. There may be a point in this game where you could get off the couch because IU is going to be down by 2 scores.
Well, this is going to be an opportunity for Mendoza to show his worth. He's going to be on the West Coast, hostile environment. It's going to be probably maybe 2,000 Indiana fans there. They're going to try to travel, but 2,000 or 3,000 fans in a 75,000 seat stadium, not much at all. With that said, it's a 3:30 game. It's a 3:30 start, if I remember right. Let me double check.
Yes. Yep. It's on CBS.
Is it 3:30 start? Am I right? Am I correct there?
You're right.
I'm saying that. Yeah, 3:30. So it's a 12:30 for the West Coast. So you can't say, oh, we started at 12. Their time was really 9 our time. Noon start. That's not your excuse. You had a bye week. Preparation. You saw what they did against Penn State. They probably broke down every play that Penn State had against Oregon. How it could have been better, how it could have been worse. You've got a better talent base at Indiana than you did last year. But there's still a gap there. That difference-making speed that Oregon is going to probably show out on in this game on Saturday, and I think that's going to be the difference. I'm calling it 35-20, Oregon over Indiana. Could it be 42-27 potentially? But I'm saying about 2 touchdown win for Oregon. But I don't think the game is going to be crazy close, right? I think it's going to be in hand, and I think Indiana's going to struggle to move the ball. Maybe they'll make a couple of big plays, but I see a 2 touchdown underdog for Indiana. But the crazy part about it, I'm looking here at the line. The line for that game is Indiana plus 7.5.
Yep.
They're giving 7.5 for that game, and I'm saying 2 touchdowns, right? So Vegas thinks that Indiana is more the truth than you think, than I think, and the Ramon thing. So we talked about it. There's no chance. Well, everybody's got a chance. But I just think that it's going to be a 2-touchdown win. I think the speed is going to overcome maybe a late touchdown for Oregon to pull it away, or maybe a late field goal or something for Indiana to bring it closer.
And like I said, Indiana's got a chance to prove here. Are you the best of the Big Ten, or are you the best of the worst?
Yeah.
This is your chance right here to prove it. So we will see how that goes for them.
So, you're saying the best of the worst. You're telling me that the Big Ten has 16 bad teams, right? That's what you're telling me.
I mean, the
right?
Big Ten, Ramon can celebrate.
I'm just saying.
He can celebrate the Big Ten all he wants. They have won the last 2 national championships.
It's the Big Two, right?
That's my point. It's really a big.
But that's no.
It's really a big 3.
But that's no knock on Ohio State is the cream of the crop in college football.
It's a big 3.
Let's be sure. Let's be clear. Ohio State is the cream of the crop in college football this year until they're not. Right?
Yeah.
But with that said, you cannot compare the depth of the Big 18 to the SEC. There is no comparison, right? But until Ohio State loses, until Oregon loses, that's the cream right there.
Yeah. I mean, the Big Ten, they've won the last 2 national championships, so it's a hard debate. In the last couple of years, the Big Ten.
The last 2 seasons, the king has been coming out of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
That's just. And as a guy who's a Bama fan, I accept that because I'm not in love with the SEC.
Like I said, Ramon can flaunt the Big Ten, but I think at the end of the day, the SEC, you put Missouri.
A lot of people flaunt the Big Ten because of the national title of the last 2 years.
You put Missouri against IU, Missouri probably wins.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. It's funny you spoke about Missouri. I want to hit on that when we do go to that. But I think there's a lot of teams that aren't getting the credit, right? What if Indiana goes out there, pops Oregon in the mouth, and it's a 3-point loss? Do we still say they're the best of the worst? Or do we say, you know what, time to start giving Indiana some credit?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe we don't. Right? That's something to think about because Vegas seems to think it's going to be a lot closer than we think.
I see it being like 21-10 come halftime. Indiana gets a touchdown. It's 21-17. Oregon maybe scores another one. I see it being a situation where IU's playing catch up, but they can't fully catch up.
Right, doesn't get back. I tell you, this is a game for me, right? That I'm interested in is Ohio State going to Illinois. They're 14-point favorites. They're in Champaign. 14 points isn't a huge number for a team that is a cut above everyone else. That's a small number, and you can say, well, they're on the road. The home team gets 3 points. They don't get 7 or 9 or 12 points. They get 3. So somebody thinks this is going to be a closer game than many believe, right?
Buckeyes.
You're talking 14.
Buckeyes by 1 million. IO. I'll do it.
Oh, we'll see. That's why they play the game, right? That's why they play the game, and we'll see where it shakes out at. But I don't.
Illinois wins. Oh my goodness.
No, I don't think Illinois wins. No, I don't think.
I'm just saying. How do you feel? Bama's going to Missouri. I don't buy Missouri. I mean, they're like this every year. They're a solid SEC team.
Like what every year? Do you realize that Missouri's won 21 games over the last 2 years? Eli Drinkwitz came to Missouri 6 years ago, changed the fortunes of that university. They've continued to pluck the best players out of the state of Arkansas. They've continued to keep the best players out of the state of Missouri.
No,
they're number 2 in the SEC in offense right now.
No,
they've got
solid,
they got the top running back in the country. They're more than solid. They're a 3-point underdog to an Alabama team that went back-to-back and beat Georgia and Vanderbilt. That team is legit. They've been legit. The challenge for them is they're in the SEC and they don't have the name brand. No one respects the state Missouri. That's where it is. If those players played in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, you'd be picking them by 10 points in this game. I'm just telling you. They've got talent. They're underserved because they aren't the brand. And so oftentimes, that's why it's important for us to have this show to talk about those teams and those situations that people don't talk about. When you hear SEC, and I've been guilty of it, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Ole Miss, blah blah. That's all we talk about. Oklahoma.
I would even slot A&M in there.
Oklahoma. But I'm telling you this: they've got the running back had 2 D1 offers coming out of high school. Louisiana, I think ULM and Southern Miss. That was it. This guy went to Missouri and done nothing but average 7 yards a pop. They run a stretch, and I've looked at them. That's why I'm telling you. They run a stretch offense, stretch plays, those long handoffs. So like the Colts of the early 2000s when Manning was in his heyday.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be surprised if these guys go out and punch Bam in the face and be a bloodbath for the whole game. This is not your uncle's University of Missouri. They got to get credit. They got to get the respect. We can say, oh, you're just saying that because it's playing your boys. I looked at them play because I didn't believe. I wanted to watch some of this stuff on their Missouri clips. And I look, they got players. They got players. Their quarterback's the first-year guy. He's a first-year guy. But all the talk is he's 10 times better than the guy he replaced that was there for 2 years.
I'll have to watch because I don't buy him. I mean, I've seen Missouri. Okay. I see him ranked the last couple of years, but it's
I expect you to not buy him because they're not in your wheelhouse.
Well, no, it's just
we love what's in our wheelhouse. We love what's in our wheelhouse, right? If it's not in our wheelhouse, we doubt it. I'm not telling you that Missouri is going to go out and beat Bama about 17 points tomorrow. No, they've got legitimate players over there, and their defense is real. And one would say, well, they haven't played anybody. Well, if we're going to use that argument, we can use that argument against a team I said is number one in the country too. Because right now, that team hasn't played a ranked team. As it stands today, that team hasn't played a ranked team.
Yeah.
We call it like it is.
No,
so we got to be careful when we say they haven't played or they have played. You only can beat the teams that are in front of you.
Yeah.
So if Missouri wins this game as a feather in their cap, I'm going to give you an example. They are on I want to say it's a 40 some odd game streak of losing to Bama. Okay. If they win this game, this is going to help push them towards the top and the pinnacle. And Eli Drinkwitz is going to start getting some credit because the dude can coach and he can recruit.
Yeah.
Take a look at what they've done for the NIL piece as well. They worked with the state of Missouri to help them with NIL money. Other teams have tried that. They failed. Virginia tried it with NIL for the state of Virginia and Virginia Tech. Missouri has a secret sauce. They're working with their state to help them, not just trying to say we'll go at it alone. But with all that said, I still say Bama by 7 because they are on a high. They're on a path, I think, to say, listen, we proved nothing. They seem still angry about the first week 1 against Florida State. And if they play like the angry team they are, they should beat this team because I think overall they do have more talent.
There's 3 upsets that I'm thinking of in my head this week.
Okay.
The first one is Florida and A&M.
I'm looking.
After Florida got the win over Texas.
I thought Florida plays. Oh, yeah, they do play. Okay, I got you. Okay.
It's in A&M. I think this is the least likely one.
7.5. 7.5 is one.
I think it's the most least likely one. Obviously, Florida got the job done in Florida against Texas. But I'm not discrediting it. But it's going to be harder to play A&M on the road. We literally just talked about it last week. It was the title of one of our last live streams is A&M, the best team in the SEC. You are still of that opinion. You kind of bought me into that opinion as well. So I think this is the most least likely one, but there is a chance. There is a chance after because you beat a team like Texas, who was viewed as a national championship contender at the start of the year. That builds momentum in that locker room. So I think that's an interesting one. The other one, which is probably the one that I'm in the middle about, is Auburn and Georgia. It's in Auburn. I've got a friend that's an Auburn guy, and he feels like they're starting to figure some things out. He thinks next year there's a chance they could be real SEC contenders.
Gus Malzahn. He's got something for Kirby. Gus Malzahn was always a thorn in the side of Nick and Kirby when they were going against each other. He always had something for him. Mm-hmm. Don't be surprised if he's got something for him again this game. They're at home. They're 3.5-point dogs. That's going to be a good game. Their defense is real. Does Georgia get their tackling in line? Are they better tacklers now? If they tackle like the talent they have, they should still win that game, even in Auburn. Yeah. They should, but that's a big should. Their quarterback has to step up as well. He hasn't played at the level against top talent yet.
Jackson Arnold?
Yeah, Georgia.
Oh, Georgia. You're talking about is it Stockholm
he hasn't
or
played
Stockton?
at a high level.
Stockton, okay.
So he's got a high defensive level that he's going to go up against this week.
Yeah.
Ruckus environment. I'm telling you, it won't be as loud as when Auburn plays Alabama, but that crowd, and it's a night game, 7:30 game.
It's legit.
Things happen on night games, so I'll be watching those two games for sure. It's a lot of good stuff coming on Saturday night. You got LSU and South Carolina, also a night game.
And there's the game that I think is the most probable for an upset. I think South Carolina could upset LSU in Death Valley. I think there's a real shot, especially after the loss to Ole Miss. I think they had a bye week last week. Yeah. I really feel confident that South Carolina can win this game on a LSU team that is coming off a loss to Ole Miss on the bye week. Are their minds in the right spot? Is Brian Kelly going to pull a Brian Kelly? Nussmeier needs to have a big game. There's a lot riding on this LSU game on Saturday night. They got to win this game, and I think if they win this game, I think they'll win the next couple in a row. But if they lose this game, I think their season's done. And I say that as in they'll drop more. Like, it'll only get worse. But I think if they win this game, I think it can steer the shit back as they get ready for who's that following week. Let me look. That following week, LSU plays. Who do they play?
Looking now, they've got Vandy. They got Vandy. Here's what LSU has: South Carolina, Vandy, A&M, Alabama.
So you got a chance to really, after this game, win and then get a couple more wins to get you ready. See that at? Say it again.
Are you saying? I said they got South Carolina this week.
That can win. Let's say win.
They got Vandy.
Win.
It's tough. You just going to win out there. Okay.
They'll win.
Then they got A&M.
That'll be tough. That's what I said. You got a chance to
then they got Bama.
Yeah, that's what I said. You got a chance to get right before.
I'll tell you what. If they're looking ahead, they're gonna get popped in the mouth. They can
obviously I'm looking ahead. I hope they're not looking ahead, or it's gonna get rough.
It's rough already, and it's not gonna. Again, I think they'll beat South Carolina. But I'm not banking the Vandy game. I'm not banking A&M, and I'm not banking the Bama game at all for them. Because here's the deal: if your boy starts out slow on Saturday, don't be surprised if the 5-star freshman comes in and takes over and doesn't give the job back up. Yeah, yes, your boy. Don't be surprised if it happens. Because the fans, and I'm friends with a lot of the LSU fans, they were calling for his head last week.
Yeah.
If he lays it again, don't be surprised, man. They got talent on that team.
Texas, Oklahoma. Who you got?
Red River rivalry. It's gonna be a low-scoring game. Your boy, your 3 weeks ago, your lead guy for Heisman Trophy, Mateer, you kept convincing me that Oklahoma, your cousin from Oklahoma or wherever. Yeah, Oklahoma. It's gonna be a low-scoring game. If Mateer, I don't think he's healthy after 3 weeks after supposedly having hand surgery. Was it fingertip surgery or was it a hand?
I have no clue.
So that's the difference, right? We'll see. I think it's gonna be a low-scoring game. Manning has not played well offensively against high-end talent in college football. Oklahoma has high-end talent. Give me the Oklahoma students in this game.
But Quinn Ewers should have started, or Marge should have started over Quinn Ewers last year, guys.
Say that were looking at the name on the back. And I said last year, if he wasn't starting for a reason. You're going to start your best player. And there's no way you don't start Manning if he's not your best player.
Yeah.
At the quarterback position, that is.
Michigan, USC.
Man,
in
Sharon has talked a lot this week. He said the only reason why the Coliseum's filled up is because Michigan's coming to town. This is coming from a dude who won the job by default because the previous coach cheated and had a show cause to skedaddle to the NFL. Sharon, you're going to be gone in 3 years anyway. You're doing a lot of talking for a guy who fell into a job.
Yeah.
Talk about Jim Harbaugh talked about the Ohio State coach landing on third base when he got the job from the fake heart attack guy. Sharon Wright is the exact same thing. He landed on third base, and I believe they'll win the game on Saturday. I believe they will. I think they got more talent. Definitely got a better running back.
However, oh, go ahead.
However, if they lose, he's your other college football guy is going to be on the hot seat.
3 Big 12 games I'm going to throw at you, and just give me a prediction. First off, 4-1 Arizona State versus 4-1 Utah in Utah.
Arizona State.
Okay. 5-0 BYU versus 4-1 Arizona. BYU's ranked 18th.
Arizona's a dog, 1.5 dog. They're at home, though. It's a pick'em game, but I think I don't know a lot about BYU's coach other than he's a really high energy guy.
I know their quarterback wears number 40. I know their quarterback wears number 47. I'm like, that's interesting.
I'll take BYU. I'll take BYU.
Okay. And then 4-2 Kansas versus 5-0 Texas Tech.
I don't believe anything in Kansas at all other than basketball. I think this should be a three touchdown win by Texas Tech.
Texas Tech's favored at 14.5.
Yep.
And NC State plays Notre Dame. NC State's 4-2.
Blowout. That's a farce of a record. I know we talked about how NC State's got a good record. Look who they played up to this point. Yeah. I say Notre Dame and a bloodbath.
Deion's Buffs travel to, or not travel. They take on Iowa State in Colorado. Georgia Tech takes on Virginia Tech.
Do the players come in, hot, ready to roll? Are they energized for Deion? He had the surgery situation. He's probably out for the rest of the season. Possibly, maybe, more than likely. What do you think about that? I mean, maybe the team kind of comes together and does it for Coach Deion.
Maybe. I think Iowa State wins, but there's a shot that happens.
Regardless of what we think about Deion from a coaching perspective, man, the guy's gone through hell and back. He's one of the all-time greats in the NFL. He deserves his respect. He deserves his due. I think he's overshot his skis at Colorado. I wish he would have stayed at Jackson, Mississippi. He could have made such an impact on the state of Mississippi and those young players coming there. He didn't. I talked about it last week, but I'm going to talk about it again because he gets a lot of flack about his confidence. Yeah. His confidence, you bear out because he was a player that way. It's not as easy when you're coaching players because they don't have the talent that you had.
Yeah. 3-2 Pittsburgh, 3-2 Florida State. This is the last game I'm gonna throw at you because Ole Miss is playing Washington State, but we know the result there.
I want Pittsburgh to win because of Eli Holman. Holman is the quarterback for Pittsburgh. He was a 4-star. Came out the same year that Manning did. 4-star that went to Alabama and transferred to Pittsburgh. Has had a couple of injuries, tough situation, but I like him out. He's got a big arm, he's a confident guy. Doesn't have the team around him, but I'm hoping he plays well and they beat Florida State because Florida State's quarterback still talking and it said we haven't lost a game yet. We haven't been beaten yet. We've only lost. He says, so basically he's giving no credit to the teams that beat them, saying we lost them, we didn't lose them. Excuse me, we lost them, they didn't win them. Excuse me. That's okay. Doing a lot of talking for a guy that was at BC last year.
Okay. Well, that's gonna do it. College football, NFL, got that covered, got that preview.
We sure we don't have any more? Oh, I know we gotta have another one that we didn't talk about. I'm looking here.
There was Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech and Ole Miss and Washington State. And then Tennessee's taking on Arkansas.
Georgia Tech, I keep saying it, Georgia Tech is my ACC sleeper. I've been saying it for 3 weeks now. They just got to keep on playing till they can get to play against Georgia and then hopefully the ACC finals. But they got a good team. They got a really, really good coach who's well respected in the coaching fraternity. I'm pulling for Georgia Tech to keep on rolling.
No, I do too. I hope they continue to succeed. Yeah. But that's really it. We got Tennessee and Arkansas, but I didn't feel the need to bring that up.
Tennessee in a beatdown.
Ole Miss is taking on Washington State, like I already said. That'll be a beatdown.
So we covered everything. Yeah,
we've covered most of it. That is going to do it. Darrell, anything other than the NFL and college that you want to hit on? Final thing before we get out of here. Shout out to the Blue Jays for beating the Yankees. Big upset in the MLB world. It feels like.
That's all I was just going to say.
Yeah,
but I said it. They had the Yankees number all year long, and they proved it. It was a bad matchup for the Yankees, man. They got thumped. They've got some retooling to do. They'll be back next year in a very similar vein. That was a good series for them to learn from. Don't forget, Miami plays this Friday night against Louisville in Miami. That's going to be a good game. Louisville's got a good team, not a great team, but Miami's going to be put to the task. They can't let their foot off the gas.
Dodgers play the Phillies tonight. Dodgers lead that series 2-1. Milwaukee
plays
the Cubs.
Come on, Phillies.
Cubs play the Brewers. Brewers lead 2-1. I hear a lot of people say the Brewers are the team to beat this year. So I'm gonna keep my eye on some baseball. I've been watching a little bit, and then tomorrow night Tigers play the Mariners. One of Xavier's old football coaches, he's a Tigers fan, so I'm sending him some love today. Hoping the Tigers can get that win. And then shout out to Asia Wilson, however you want to pronounce it. Buzzer beater.
Get it right.
Buzzer beater to put them up 3-0 in the WNBA finals. That's a heck of a shot. That's a career defining shot right there.
Here's the question. Is Asia Wilson the best ever in the WNBA?
That's a tough argument. That's a very tough argument because I think you look at those early years, there's some really great talent, right? That saw a lot of success. I think Candace Parker's in that argument as well. I need to see how many championships she has, obviously, but I mean, you look at Aja Wilson and what she's done. I mean, she already has a dynasty, and it looks like they're going to add on to that after tonight. Like
I'm going to say it, she's the best WNBA player I've ever seen.
She's the greatest.
WNBA. She's not better. She'll never be better than Cheryl Miller. She'll never be better than Cheryl Miller. Cheryl Miller never played in the WNBA. That's why I made a point to say that.
That's a fair point. Yeah, you got to say. I don't blame you for separating.
Give me my Cheryl Miller all day, and not because her brother played here. Man, Cheryl Miller was the truth, man.
There you go.
So that's my WNBA talk today.
Props to Asia Wilson for sure. She's hooping. She's hooping.
Yeah.
And NBA is coming back soon this Sunday. We are not going to be doing like a list, but we are going to do a full NBA preview. We're going to talk NBA. We're just going to do what we do best, which is spitball. So we'll talk a lot of NBA on Sunday. We'll talk about my Lakers. We'll talk about the Knicks. We'll talk about the Wolves. We'll talk about all these different teams. And if you want your team talked about, just bring it up in the live. Say, hey, can you talk about Cleveland real quick? Hey, can you talk about Chicago real quick? Can you talk about the failure that is the Brooklyn Nets? Sure, we may even talk about the failures of Brooklyn.
The Brooklyn Nets, man.
They wasted all those
significant and
they wasted all those draft picks. That's why.
Boston wasted a lot of draft picks. You don't knock them.
Well, Boston that's a completely different side of the spectrum.
I mean, yeah, they won a title, but for the number one picks they had and all those picks they got for KD, KG, and the guy at Kansas.
You're comparing clean drinking water to water.
They got one title out of it.
They got another one now. I mean,
the New Jersey Nets or the New Jersey Nets. I'm talking about when they traded KG.
No, I know, but still, I mean,
they got one. That's one. They got
years
one.
Of success.
They beat two. They beat Kobe.
They were competitive. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Brooklyn ain't been competitive since Jason Kidd.
Stop digging on the New Jersey Nets, man. They've never been anything.
Yeah, I know clearly.
There's something in I'm gonna find out what it is, but there's something else there for the New Jersey Nets. Because you take digs on the New Jersey Nets like they won 3 titles in the last 12 years, and they did something to the Lakers or something.
No, they're just losers.
Your anger towards them.
It's like Cleveland. They're Cleveland.
There's a lot of teams that waste draft picks, though.
Yeah, but still, it's just
like the Lakers wasted one a couple years ago. You had a guy in the second round.
You had drafted. You had an abundance of them in the first round. My problem isn't second round picks. Let's talk about the amount of firsts that they had, and it's like, a lot of those guys don't even seem like they'll turn out well. But NBA this Sunday, Game Time Live. Like,
I'm gonna find out what's your real angle with the New Jersey Nets. I'm gonna keep on digging. If I gotta go look at X from way back in the day or whatever, some post you made somewhere, it probably has something to do with KD. I'm sure there's a tie-in somewhere because all you Bron fans hate KD for whatever reason. I know why though, but it's something there.
We've already talked about KD. Oh, since Hester's coming on, we can have our KD debate after long last on Sunday.
It's not a debate; it's feeling. I don't believe it. So you're not going to convince me to believe something I don't believe. Perfect.
This Sunday, one of our best videos ever and one of our best TikToks ever was talking about KD and Steph Curry. We're going to finally have part 2 of that debate on Sunday.
Curry, listen, so everything is a combination. Steph Curry off the court has been an embarrassment this year. His situation has been an embarrassment. He's embarrassed himself wholeheartedly because of his other half.
Oh,
that comes with the deal. That comes with the territory. If we're going to talk about everything, we talk about everything.
I guess. I don't even.
Leave KD out of this, and I'm not even a KD fan.
All right,
you leave KD out of it.
You can't say that and then say you're not a KD fan.
I'm just calling it what it is. The dude's a baller.
He is a baller.
What's he done? Where does he embarrass himself off the court? His family situation.
I mean, it's not Curry's fault either. That's just his wife talking.
It is his fault. I'll say what I have to say off record.
Yeah, I was about to say I almost slipped up, but I was like, I'm going to chill too. I'm ready for the NBA because I mean the Rockets are
really ready for the NBA, but fans, we're not letting go of football. This is week 6 for NFL and week 5 for college. We ain't going anywhere. We're going to continue mapping our college football and NFL all through the rest of this year. We're not going to let Isaiah overtake this and call it the NBA show. It's not. So don't worry, fans. We're still talking football.
You never know. You never know. No, I'm joking. No, but I am more of an NBA guy, but I love football and basketball. If basketball's here, I mean, football's probably like right about here. The deeper we get in the NBA, the gap widens, but right now, I mean, I like both very much.
I'm the opposite for you. The NBA is here for me, and football is here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna balance things out. Don't worry. What you all want to hear us talk about, I promise you, we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, and even then, my NFL tier list. I mean, I think it's the best thing since sliced bread, of course. So I can't give that up.
Who can forget that the Atlanta Falcons gonna go to the NFC title game?
I never said that. I said there's a shot. I never guaranteed it on the money. What I did guarantee is the Spurs will be in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
I did guarantee that.
Listen, I've already created a clip of that, right? Don't worry. I got it in my back pocket. Don't worry. It'll roll out around April.
Spurs will be in the Western Conference Finals, and who they play against? A couple of years ago, I said it would be against Denver, but I don't know if that'll be the case this year. But I do think they're in the Western Conference Finals this year.
Y'all see what I deal with?
Pretty confident.
I'm the loud one on the show, but believe me, Isaiah is opening up week after week after week, especially with his basketball confidence. Just wait till y'all get a load of this guy over the next few weeks.
Orlando Magic going to be playing. It's going to be NBA. I'm ready. Bring it. It's time. Well, that's going to do it, folks. Thank you guys for watching another live stream. We will be live again once again on Sunday from 12 to 1 o'clock. Once again, big thank you to Mac Gaddis for sponsoring the Game Time Podcast. If you need any insurance help, make sure you do contact Mac Gaddis. Darrell, you got any final thing to say before we get out of here?
Roll Tide. That's all I got to say.
There you go. I got nothing else to say. NBA's back in 3 weeks, folks. Be ready. I'm ready. It's going to be a good time. I'm excited. But that's going to do it, folks. We will see you guys in more content very, very soon. That's going to do it here, though, for the Game Time Podcast.